Have you ever stood up from your chair and noticed your knees don't support you like they used to? Or maybe a short walk leaves your legs strangely fatigued, more than it should for someone who eats right, exercises, and stays active. You're not alone. Thousands of seniors experience this decline and chalk it up to just aging. But what if I told you that aging isn't the only factor at play? Here's the surprising part. You might be doing everything right, but still doing one thing wrong every single day without knowing it. It's not a lack of action, it's a hidden habit, and it all comes down to something as innocent as the fruit bowl in your kitchen. Yes, fruit. The very thing we've been told is always healthy. Natural, sweet, filled with vitamins, and recommended by every food pyramid you've ever seen. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Not all fruits are good for seniors. In fact, some of them, despite their reputation, might be silently weakening your legs, inflaming your joints, and making mobility harder than it needs to be. As we grow older, our bodies don't process food the same way. Metabolism slows, blood circulation becomes more fragile, and the foods that once fueled us can start to work against us. Some fruits, especially those rich in acid and sugar, may actually accelerate inflammation, spike blood sugar, and damage small blood vessels that feed your legs and joints. The worst part? You won't even notice it until suddenly your knees ache after a short walk or your calves feel tight when you get out of bed. And it's easy to ignore, because who questions fruit? That ends today. In this video, I'll share 7 fruits that every senior over the age of 60 should avoid or reduce if they want to protect their leg strength and mobility. You'll learn what they are, why they're a problem, and what you can eat instead. Stick around to the end, because once you learn the truth, you'll never look at your grocery list the same way again. And if you care about staying active, balanced, and strong, this could be one of the most important health messages you hear this year. Fruit number 1, bananas. The potassium paradox. Wait, bananas? Aren't they supposed to be healthy? That's the response I get from 9 out of 10 of my senior patients when I bring this up. And I get it. Bananas have long been touted as a quick energy booster, packed with potassium, great for preventing cramps. Right? But the harsh truth is, for older adults, bananas can do more harm than good, especially when it comes to leg strength. Let's dig into that. Nutritionally, bananas are packed with important nutrients like potassium, vitamin B6, and fiber. However, in aging bodies, especially those over 60, the way we process certain minerals changes. The kidneys, which are responsible for filtering out excess potassium, gradually lose their effectiveness as you age. And when your body can't properly remove potassium, it starts to build up in your blood, a condition known as hyperkalemia. You may not notice it right away, but this hidden buildup can lead to muscle fatigue, weakness in your legs, irregular heartbeat, and even dangerous cramps that limit your ability to walk. One of the most common and overlooked causes of leg weakness in older adults is a mineral imbalance, says Andrea Peters, PhD, a certified senior nutritionist. Many people unknowingly consume too much potassium, especially from foods like bananas, thinking they're doing the right thing. To make matters worse, many older adults also take medications such as ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, or diuretics, all of which can interact with potassium levels in the body. Fruit number 2, grapes, the sugar trap. You didn't XP. Grapes are also one of the most sugar-dense fruits per volume. Think nearly the same as a can of soda, and this matters far more than you might think. As we age, our insulin sensitivity declines. That means our bodies are slower to process sugar, and spikes in blood sugar can have more damaging effects, especially on the tiny capillaries that feed your leg muscles and joints. Over time, this leads to poor circulation, increased inflammation, and even neuropathy, a condition that causes numbness, tingling, and pain in the legs and feet. And here's the kicker. The sugar in grapes is mostly glucose and fructose, which are quickly absorbed and cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. This surge can trigger the release of inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that promote inflammation in the joints. The result? Your knees might swell, your ankles may stiffen, and that subtle, nagging fatigue in your thighs could slowly intensify. And here's the kicker. The sugar in grapes is mostly glucose and fructose, which are quickly absorbed and cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. This surge can trigger the release of inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that promote inflammation in the joints. The result? Your knees might swell, your ankles may stiffen, and that subtle, nagging fatigue in your thighs could slowly intensify. If you love grapes and still want their benefits without the sugar overload, consider alternatives like blueberries or blackberries. They're lower in sugar and richer in fiber and anti-inflammatory compounds. Or better yet, pair grapes with a handful of almonds or a boiled egg to slow sugar absorption. Remember, your legs carry you every day. They deserve the best care, and that begins with knowing which foods strengthen them and which quietly sabotage them. Let's move on to fruit number 3, which might shock you even more because it's often praised as a hydration hero. Fruit number 3. Watermelon, the hydration hero. That may hurt your legs. Now, let's turn our attention to a fruit that's often seen as the poster child for summer health. Watermelon. It's hydrating, refreshing, and low in calories. So how could it possibly be harmful? Here's where things get interesting. While watermelon does offer vitamins like A and C and is composed of over 90% water for seniors over 60, it could quietly be undermining your leg strength. The truth is, watermelon contains a surprisingly high glycemic index GI. That means it causes rapid spikes in blood sugar, even more so than many fruits you might think are sweeter. In fact, watermelon has a GI of around 72, which is classified as high. Compare that to apples or pears, which have a GI closer to 40 to 50. The rapid absorption of sugar leads to an insulin surge, followed by a crash. And over time, this up and down roller coaster puts real stress on your vascular and muscular systems. As insulin resistance sets in with age, especially if you're not highly active, those sugar spikes don't just affect your energy. They also affect microvascular circulation, particularly to the extremities, your legs, feet, and calves. Watermelon sugar, mostly in the form of fructose, is metabolized in the liver and can lead to fat accumulation and systemic inflammation, both of which negatively impact joint flexibility and muscle endurance. You may start to notice that walking feels harder than it used to. Your calves feel tight after standing. Your knees feel heavier when climbing stairs. These aren't just signs of aging, they may be metabolic signals, warning you that your diet is silently impacting your lower body mobility. Moreover, watermelon is low in fiber. That means the sugar it contains is absorbed extremely fast. Without any buffering agent like protein or healthy fat, it delivers a quick jolt of glucose to the bloodstream, triggering inflammation, water retention, and stiffness. For anyone already struggling with arthritis, varicose veins, or chronic swelling, this can be a major concern. Now, don't misunderstand, watermelon isn't bad in itself. But for older adults with reduced physical activity, lower muscle mass, and slower metabolism, portion control and timing are everything. If you still love it, enjoy a small slice earlier in the day, paired with something high in protein or fiber. Avoid eating it late at night when metabolism slows further. You see, not all fruits are companions of old age. Some, while seemingly healthy, are silently sapping the strength of your legs every day. And we've only gone through 3 of the 7 most dangerous fruits. If you care about your health, especially your mobility, balance, and quality of life, don't miss the next part. You see, not all fruits are companions of old age. Some, while seemingly healthy, are silently sapping the strength of your legs every day. And we've only gone through 3 of the 7 most dangerous fruits. If you care about your health, especially your mobility, balance, and quality of life, don't miss the next part.